Why self-investment is the key to a better life. The foundation of self-investment. Your life only grows when you grow. Introduction. The quiet truth everyone eventually learns. Every person reaches a moment in life when they pause, look around, and quietly ask themselves a difficult question. Is this truly the life I was meant to live? It might happen at 20, or 40, or 60. It might happen after a failure, a breakup, a setback, or even a moment of success. But the question arrives for everyone, and it comes with a powerful realization. Your life will never rise above your willingness to invest in yourself. Not luck, not circumstances, not talent or opportunity, but you. Everything changes the day you understand that your growth is the engine of your future. Not someone else's approval, not society's timeline, not external validation. In a world full of distractions, shortcuts, and empty promises, self-investment is the only path that guarantees results. It is the one investment that never fails, never loses value, and always compounds. This article explores 6 transformational messages about self-investment, messages that, when truly understood, can reshape the direction of your life. In Part 1, we focus on the foundation, why your personal growth is the most powerful form of leverage you will ever have. 1. Your life only grows when you grow. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for signs from the universe, waiting for someone to push them, validate them, or save them. But life does not improve because you wait. It improves because you evolve. The uncomfortable truth is this: your external world is simply a reflection of your internal world. If you want more peace, more income, more opportunities, more impact, more joy, you must first become more. You can change jobs without changing your mindset, and your problems will follow you. You can change relationships without healing your wounds, and the same patterns will repeat. You can change your environment, but unless you change yourself, nothing will truly shift. This is why self-investment matters. It breaks the cycle. It changes the root, not just the branches. Understanding the growth gap, where you are versus who you could be. Every person lives with an invisible gap between the life they have and the life they know they are capable of living. You can feel this gap even if you can't describe it. You feel it as restlessness, frustration, boredom, or dissatisfaction. You feel it when you scroll through your phone at night and think, I should be doing more with my life. That feeling isn't a curse, it's a message, a whisper from your future self saying, grow into me, I'm waiting for you. But growth is uncomfortable, and comfort is seductive. Most people cling to the familiar, even when the familiar is hurting them. Self-investment is the courage to step out of that comfort zone and begin closing the gap. Why growth is emotional before it is practical. People often think self-investment means buying books, taking courses, or learning new skills. Those things matter, but they're secondary. Before you invest in skills, you must invest in your mindset, your self-worth, your inner discipline, your emotional resilience, your identity, because you will never outgrow the limits you place on yourself. If deep inside you believe you are not good enough, not capable enough, not talented enough, or not worthy enough, then every external investment will be capped by your internal belief. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: you don't get the life you want. You get the life you believe you deserve. and that belief can only be rewritten from within. This is why self-investment is not optional, it is the foundation, the compound effect of personal growth. Think about money. If you invest $100 every month, the amount may seem small, but over 5, 10, or 20 years, that small investment becomes something powerful. Your growth works the same way. Every time you read for 20 minutes, practice a skill, reflect on your habits, train discipline, or push yourself slightly outside your comfort zone, you are depositing into a compounding account called your future self. 1 month of growth feels small, but 1 year of consistent self-investment, you become almost unrecognizable. 5 years, people will assume you were lucky. But it won't be luck. It will be the quiet, powerful compounding of every small decision you made when no one was watching. Why most people never grow, and how you can break the pattern. Growth is natural, but it is not automatic. And there are 5 reasons most people stop growing. 1. They fear failure, not realizing that failure is simply data, feedback, not identity. 2. They underestimate the time required. They want results in weeks, not years. 3. They surround themselves with stagnant people. Your environment shapes your trajectory more than you realize. 4. They don't know where to start, so they do nothing. 5. They invest in entertainment, not education. Hours scrolling, hours watching others live, hours escaping their potential instead of stepping into it. Self-investment breaks all 5 patterns by shifting your focus from what is easy right now to what is valuable long-term. This shift is life-changing. The emotional transformation that begins with growth. As you grow, something unexpected happens. Your internal world begins to shift. You start trusting yourself more. You become proud of the person you are becoming. You no longer seek validation because you already validate yourself. You no longer fear the future because you are building the future. You detach from people who drain you because you know your worth now. You stop waiting because you are finally moving. Growth transforms your relationship with yourself. And when that changes, everything changes. This is the real reason self-investment is powerful. It returns you to yourself. The first step, designing a new inner narrative. Every transformation begins with a new story. Not a story of your past, but a story of your potential. Most people unknowingly repeat narratives like, "I'm just not disciplined. I'm not smart enough. I always give up. This is just who I am." These narratives become cages, but every cage has a door, and the door is awareness. Self-investment begins the moment you rewrite your narrative into something empowering. I am capable of learning anything. I adapt quickly. I am improving every day. My potential is bigger than my past. I am worth the effort. These words are not cheesy. They are instructions to your subconscious mind. Your brain listens to everything you say about yourself. Speak with intention. The paradox of self-investment. It feels hard now, but makes life easier later. Comfort now becomes regret later. Avoidance now becomes insecurity later. Distraction now becomes emptiness later. Self-investment flips this pattern. What feels hard now becomes easy later. Discipline now becomes freedom later. Learning now becomes opportunities later. Growth now
becomes confidence later. There is no escaping the price of your potential. You either pay it now with effort, or you pay it later with regret. How to begin becoming the person you are meant to be. Here are 4 practical, actionable first steps to start growing immediately. 1. Audit your environment. Surround yourself with ambition, optimism, and people who want more from life. Distance yourself from negativity, drama, and stagnation. 2. Build a learning habit. Even 10 to 20 minutes a day creates irreversible forward momentum. 3. Train discipline like a muscle. Start small. Micro commitments are more powerful than big promises. 4. Create a personal mission. Decide who you want to become and what kind of life you want to experience. A mission gives your daily actions meaning. You do not need a perfect plan. You only need a beginning. The path reveals itself through action. Self-investment is not a luxury. It is not something you do after life gets better. It is the very thing that makes life better. The first message, "Your life only grows when you grow," is the foundation for the remaining 5 messages. Each message builds on this core truth to help you understand how to create unstoppable momentum, how to build self-belief, how to transform your identity, how to align your habits with your future, and how to become a person you are proud of every single day.
The identity shift. Who you believe you are shapes your future. Your identity shapes your destiny. Introduction. You don't rise to your goals. You rise to your identity. Every person has goals, but not every person reaches them. And the reason is simpler than most people think. You don't achieve goals because you want them. You achieve goals because your identity aligns with them. Identity is the silent architect of your life. It shapes your beliefs, your habits, your expectations, your limitations, and your decisions. If you believe you're someone who always procrastinates, you will continue procrastinating. If you believe you're someone who never finishes anything, you will unconsciously sabotage your own progress. If you believe you're someone who doesn't deserve success, you will reject opportunities even when life places them directly in front of you. But the opposite is also true. If you believe you're a disciplined person, your actions begin to reflect discipline. If you believe you're a growing person, you seek growth. If you believe you're worthy of a better life, you start behaving like someone who deserves one. This is the essence of self-investment. You are not just improving what you do, you are upgrading who you are. 1. The hidden power of self-identity. Your identity is the internal story that guides your external reality. It's the answer to the quiet question, who am I really? But most people live with an identity shaped not by intention, but by past failures, childhood messages, external opinions, social pressures, painful experiences, limiting beliefs, and labels placed on them by others. Without realizing it, they carry old versions of themselves into new chapters of life. They try to build a new future while using an outdated identity, like installing new software on a broken operating system. Self-investment rewrites that system, not instantly,
not easily, but powerfully and permanently. 2. How your identity controls your behavior. Consider this. A person who believes they are bad with money will always struggle financially. A person who believes they are not smart enough will avoid challenges. A person who believes they are not the type to succeed will never push beyond comfort. A person who believes they are not a leader will never take responsibility. Your actions always follow your identity. Your habits always reflect your beliefs. Your decisions always mirror your self-image. This is why setting goals without shifting identity often fails. You can set a goal to read every day, but if your identity is "I'm not a disciplined person," you won't. You can set a goal to be more confident, but if your identity is "I'm shy and insecure," your behavior will match the old identity. You can force habits for a few days or weeks, but identity makes habits sustainable.
3. Identity is a habit, not a fixed trait. One of the most liberating truths you'll ever learn is this: identity is not something you find. Identity is something you build. You are not trapped inside an unchangeable personality. You are not limited to the version of yourself shaped by childhood or mistakes. You are not defined by your insecurities, fears, or past experiences. Identity is a habit, a repeated pattern of beliefs, choices, and actions. If you repeat a belief long enough, it becomes your identity. If you repeat an action long enough, it becomes your default behavior. This means you can create a new identity deliberately, one aligned with the future you want, not the past you survived. 4. The 3 layers of identity transformation. To change your life, you must transform your identity in 3 layers. Layer 1, beliefs. What I think is true about myself. These are the core sentences you repeat internally. I'm disciplined. I'm capable of learning anything. I can figure things out. I'm a person who follows through. Or their negative counterparts. I can't handle pressure. I'm not consistent. I always fail. I'm not good enough. Beliefs shape behavior long before action does. Layer 2, behaviors. What I do that reinforces my beliefs. Identity solidifies through repeated action. One workout does not build the identity of "I'm healthy," but 20 workouts do. Reading 1 page does not build the identity of "I'm a learner," but reading consistently does. Behaviors are proof that your beliefs are real. Layer 3, evidence. What I can point to as proof of who I am. This is the most powerful layer. When you collect enough evidence through your actions, your brain cannot deny the identity anymore. You meditate every day, you see yourself as calm. You write daily, you see yourself as disciplined. You keep promises to yourself, you see yourself as reliable. Identity grows through evidence. Self-investment creates the evidence that reinforces your new identity. 5. Breaking free from old identity patterns. Most people get stuck because they try to change their behavior while keeping their old identity. This creates internal conflict. I want to be disciplined, but I see myself as someone who quits. I want to be confident, but I identify as someone who hides. I want to succeed, but I believe I'm not capable. Until identity shifts, change feels like swimming against a current.
But once identity shifts, change feels natural. 6. The identity you must let go of to become who you need to be. To evolve, you must let go of the identity that no longer serves you. Maybe the identity was shaped by a difficult childhood, an unsupportive environment, previous failures, heartbreak, rejection, comparison, insecurity, fear. But past identities don't have to become future destinies. Ask yourself, which version of me must I release in order to grow? Maybe it's the version that doubts itself, version that compares itself, version that avoids challenges, version that plays small, version that fears judgment, version that procrastinates, version that tolerates toxicity. Growth requires letting go. You can't become your future self while clinging to your former identity. 7. Creating your future identity. Now that you understand identity's power, you can design your future identity intentionally. Here's the simplest and most effective exercise. Step 1. Define who you want to become. Use statements like, I am a disciplined person. I am a focused, growth-oriented individual. I am confident in my abilities. I am someone who completes what I start. I am a person who invests deeply in myself. Choose identities that pull you forward. Step 2. Identify the behaviors that match that identity. If you're becoming a disciplined person, you follow routines. If you're becoming a learner, you study daily. If you're becoming a confident person, you take action even when afraid. Your habits should match the person you want to be. Step 3. Take small daily actions to provide evidence. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfection. Identity grows from consistency, not intensity. Small habits done daily build stronger identities than big efforts done occasionally. Step 4. Speak to yourself like the person you are becoming. Your internal dialogue must align with your future identity. Instead of, I can't do this, say, I'm learning to do this. Instead of, I'm not ready, say, I'm preparing myself. Instead of, I always fail, say, I'm becoming someone who succeeds. Language is identity. Identity is destiny. 8. The emotional shift that comes from identity upgrade. As you adopt a new identity, several psychological changes occur. 1. You become more courageous. Your new identity encourages action. 2. You stop fearing judgment. You no longer see yourself through others' opinions. 3. You develop resilience. You trust yourself to navigate challenges. 4. You become consistent. Identity makes discipline easier. 5. You start attracting opportunities. People respond to the energy of someone who knows who they are. 6. You feel proud of your progress. Self-respect increases when your identity aligns with your actions. When identity and behavior match, internal conflict disappears. You stop fighting yourself, you stop doubting your path, you stop sabotaging your progress. You become aligned, and alignment is power. 9. Letting go of external labels. Society, family, friends, and even strangers love to label you. You're shy. You're too sensitive. You're not good at that. That's not who you are. You're dreaming too big.
But remember, labels are projections, not truth. People label you based on their perspective, their limitations, their fears, or their expectations. You are not obligated to internalize any of it.
The moment you stop accepting labels is the moment you reclaim your identity. I decide who I am, no one else. Becoming the author of your own story. Identity transformation is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the truest, strongest version of yourself. The version that has always existed beneath fear and doubt. You are not here to live a recycled story. You are here to write a new one. And the pen is in your hands. Your future identity is waiting. It already exists within you. Self-investment is simply the process of bringing it to life. Identity is the foundation of every long-term transformation. When you upgrade who you believe you are, everything else follows. Your discipline, your habits, your confidence, your decisions, your opportunities, your relationships, your future. The power of daily habits. Your future is built one choice at a time. Small daily habits shape your entire life. Introduction. Success is not an event, it is a repeated pattern. People love big goals. They love imagining dramatic transformations. They love the idea of a single moment that changes everything, the breakthrough, the opportunity, the lucky chance. But life does not transform through big moments. It transforms through small, repeated actions, quietly stacking on top of each other every single day. Your future is not defined by what you do occasionally. It is defined by what you do consistently. Self-investment becomes powerful when you realize this simple truth. Your habits are building your identity, shaping your destiny, and creating your future, whether you're aware of them or not. You can't choose your future directly, but you can choose your habits, and your habits will choose your future for you. 1. The hidden force behind every success story. If you study any successful person, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, leaders, artists, you will notice something interesting. Their achievements look big, but their process is small. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. They don't rely on talent, they rely on consistency. They don't hope for results, they build habits that guarantee results. Their transformation happens gradually, almost invisibly, until one day the world says, "Wow, they changed." But the truth is, they didn't change in one moment. They changed in thousands of tiny moments, moments where they chose growth over comfort. 2. Why small habits are more important than big goals. A goal gives you direction. A habit gives you progress. You can set a goal to get healthy, but if your habits don't change, nothing happens. You can set a goal to learn a new skill, but if you don't practice consistently, the skill never develops. You can set a goal to build confidence, but if you don't take small, courageous actions, confidence never grows. A goal is the map. A habit is the vehicle. Without habits, goals are just wishes. 3. The psychology of habit formation. Your brain loves habits because habits save energy. The more automatic your behavior becomes, the less mental effort you need.
This means your brain will always choose the easiest, most familiar path, unless you intentionally build new pathways. Habit formation happens in 3 steps. 1. Cue. Something triggers the behavior. Time of day, emotion, environment, or internal feeling. 2. Routine. The behavior itself. Scrolling, exercising, reading, procrastinating, studying, or snacking. 3. Reward. The emotional payoff. Pleasure, relief, escape, pride, or satisfaction. If the reward is immediate, your brain repeats the habit. If the routine is repeated, it becomes automatic. The problem? Most modern habits reward you instantly. Scrolling, watching videos, snacking, avoiding discomfort, escaping responsibilities. Growth habits reward you slowly. Reading, practicing a skill, exercising, learning, taking responsibility, improving yourself. This is why harmful habits feel easy and helpful habits feel hard. The solution is not motivation. It is environment design and identity alignment, which we will explore soon. 4. The difference between micro habits and macro goals. We often overestimate the power of one big effort and underestimate the power of small, repeated choices. Big goals create pressure. Small habits create progress. Macro goal. I will read 50 books this year. Micro habit. I will read 10 minutes every morning. Which one actually changes your life? The micro habit. Macro goal. I will get in the best shape of my life. Micro habit. I will do a 15-minute workout daily. Which one actually builds health? The micro habit. Macro goal. I want to become confident. Micro habit. I will take one small action that scares me every day. Confidence grows one tiny victory at a time. 5. The compound effect of tiny actions. Habits compound the same way money does. A small deposit each day becomes massive over time. But most people quit early because they can't see progress fast enough. Consider this. Day 1, you read 10 minutes. No visible difference. Day 10, you've read 100 minutes. Still no big difference. Day 30, your knowledge is growing, but nothing dramatic. Day 365, you've read 60 hours. You are more knowledgeable than 95% of people in your field. From the outside, it looks sudden. From the inside, it was gradual, steady, unstoppable. This is the miracle of habits. What feels small now becomes powerful later. Your job is to start small and stay consistent. 6. Why people struggle with consistency and how to fix it. People don't fail because they're lazy or incapable. They fail because their habits are designed for short-term comfort, not long-term growth. Here are the top 5 reasons consistency breaks and how to correct each one. Reason 1. Habits are too big. Most people try to change too much at once. Solution: shrink the habit until it feels effortless. 1 page instead of 10. 5 minutes instead of 30. Small wins motivate big wins. Reason 2. Habits are not tied to identity. You're trying to act like a disciplined person without believing you are one. Solution: repeat identity-based statements. I am a person who keeps promises to myself. I am consistent by nature.
Reason 3. The environment triggers old habits. Your surroundings shape 80% of your behavior. Solution: remove friction from good habits. Increase friction for bad habits. Example: put your phone in another room when reading. Reason 4. You rely on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Systems are reliable. Solution: create habit triggers. Same time, same place, same cue. Reason 5. You punish yourself for missing days. Guilt creates avoidance. Solution: Follow the never miss twice rule. If you miss once, restart immediately. 7. Building a system that makes growth automatic. Success becomes simple when you design your life around habits instead of relying on willpower. Here's a system you can apply instantly. Step 1. Choose 3 identity-based habits. Choose habits that directly reinforce who you want to become. For example, identity. I am a focused, disciplined person. Habits. 15 minutes of daily reading. A short workout. Planning the day each morning. Identity. I am someone who invests in myself. Habits. Journaling. Practicing a skill. Learning something new. Step 2. Anchor each habit to an existing part of your day. For example, after brushing your teeth, read 5 minutes. After breakfast, journal 2 minutes. After work, practice a skill for 10 minutes. This makes habits automatic. Step 3. Track the habit visually. Humans love progress. Use a habit tracker, a checklist, a simple calendar, a notebook. Seeing progress builds momentum. Step 4. Celebrate micro wins. Reward creates repetition. When you finish a small habit, say, "Good job. Keep going." This tiny self-recognition trains your brain to repeat the habit. Step 5. Build on the habit gradually. Start with tiny habits, then expand. 1 minute to 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 20 minutes. Consistency first, intensity second. 8. The 3 types of habits you need to transform your life. To invest in yourself fully, you need habits in 3 categories. 1. Growth habits to expand your mind. Examples: reading, taking courses, watching educational content, practicing skills, deep work sessions. These habits increase your value. 2. Energy habits to strengthen your body and health. Examples: exercise, walking, hydration, sleep routine, stretching. Your body fuels your mind. A weak body creates a weak life. 3. Self-alignment habits to improve emotional and mental clarity. Examples: journaling, reflection, meditation, gratitude, digital detox. These habits keep you grounded and focused. A balanced routine includes all 3. 9. The transformation that happens when you master your habits. As you strengthen your daily habits, you begin to notice profound shifts. 1. You trust yourself more. You keep promises to yourself, and self-trust is the engine of confidence. 2. You feel more in control. Your life becomes intentional, not chaotic or reactive. 3. You experience momentum. Success becomes easier because each habit pushes the next. 4. You stop fearing the future. Habits turn uncertainty into opportunity. 5. You become someone others admire. Consistency is rare. When you embody it, people notice. 6. You build the identity of a high-value person, someone disciplined, reliable, focused, growing. Your habits shape your identity. Your identity shapes your destiny.
The life-changing perspective. Every day is a vote. Every single day, you are voting for the person you want to become. When you read for 10 minutes, you vote for your future self. When you study a new skill, you vote for growth. When you exercise, you vote for strength. When you journal, you vote for clarity. When you act with discipline, you vote for excellence. No vote is too small. No habit is insignificant. It all counts. It all compounds. It all builds the life you're dreaming of. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your daily choices. The lifelong journey of becoming your best self. Self-investment is not a phase. It is not something you do for a month, a year, or during a difficult season. It is a lifelong journey, a continuous unfolding of your potential, your strength, your creativity, and your purpose. It is the greatest commitment you can make to yourself, because everything you desire in life flows from who you are becoming. This final part brings all the previous ideas together: clarity, courage, consistency, discipline, healing, and reinvention. Now we enter the deepest layer, the lifetime practice of self-investment. Here we explore 4 essential pillars: living with long-term vision, creating a growth-driven environment, staying resilient during life's transitions, and becoming a person who inspires others through their transformation. Let's complete this journey with intention, strength, and a renewed commitment to yourself. 1. Living with long-term vision. Most people live day to day, reacting, drifting, or simply following the path of least resistance. But people who invest in themselves think differently. They move with vision, something bigger, deeper, and more meaningful than short-term comfort. A. The vision that outlives your motivation. Motivation is powerful, but unstable. It rises and falls like the tide. But vision, however, acts like a lighthouse. It guides you even when the ocean is wild. A long-term vision answers 3 critical questions. Who do I want to become? Not what you want to have, but who you want to be, the kind of human being you aspire to grow into. How do I want to live? What values shape your days? What energy do you bring into the world? And what impact do I want to leave behind? How will your life make the world, or even just one person's life, better? B. Vision requires sacrifice, the highest form of self-investment. Every long-term goal demands a trade: growth instead of comfort, discipline instead of distraction, purpose instead of pleasure, creation instead of consumption. People who invest in themselves are willing to sacrifice what is good now for what is great later. Ask yourself, what do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing? And what do I need to continue doing? These 3 questions alone can reshape your life's direction. C. The power of delayed gratification. One of the strongest predictors of lifelong success is the ability to delay gratification. You read instead of scrolling. You study instead of sleeping in. You save instead of spending. You train instead of complaining. You build instead of wishing. This mindset is not natural. It is trained. And the more you practice it, the more unstoppable you become. 2. Creating a growth-driven environment. You can only grow as much as the environment around you allows. A seed cannot thrive in dry soil. A mind cannot expand in a toxic space. Self-investment requires more than personal effort. It requires redesigning your environment so it supports the person you want to become. A. Surround yourself with people who stretch you. There are 3 types of people: people who drain your energy, people who keep your energy the same, people who elevate your energy. Your future depends on who you choose to keep close. Growth-oriented people challenge you constructively, push you to think bigger, celebrate your progress, hold you accountable, inspire you by their example. If you are surrounded by small thinkers, fear-based thinkers, or negative thinkers, your growth will always feel like swimming against the current. Choose differently. Choose expansively. Choose people who make you grow. B. Build rituals that reinforce your identity. Environment is not just people, it is also routines. Your habits shape your future more than your dreams do. Examples of self-investing rituals are a daily reading habit, a weekly learning goal, a morning workout, a journaling practice, a monthly skill-building project, a gratitude or awareness ritual, time in silence or nature. These rituals anchor you. They build resilience. They give structure to your transformation. C. Remove low-quality input. A growth environment cannot exist if you allow mental noise to dominate your life. Trash social media, pointless drama, gossip, toxic conversations, addiction to entertainment, comparison habits. You cannot fill your mind with pollution and expect clarity. You cannot fill your day with distractions and expect excellence. Sometimes self-investment begins with subtraction, removing what harms you so you can make space for what builds you. 3. Staying resilient during life's transitions. No journey of self-investment is smooth. Life will test your commitment at every level. The job loss, the heartbreak, the burnout, the uncertainty, the loneliness, the failure. But here's the truth. Every real transformation requires a breaking point. A. Growth often begins where comfort ends. The moments that feel like the end are often the beginning. The end of a relationship that forces you to heal. The end of a job that pushes you toward purpose. The end of an old identity that makes room for a new you. You are not breaking down, you are breaking open. B. The seasons of reinvention. Your journey will have seasons, and each season has a purpose. The season of learning, absorbing, growing, expanding. The season of building, working, creating, improving. The season of challenge, resisting, fighting, adapting. The season of renewal, healing, resting, recharging. If you understand the season you're in, you won't resist it, you will use it. C. The art of bouncing back. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about learning to rise faster with wisdom, clarity, and courage. To bounce back, remember, progress is not a straight line. Setbacks are not failures. Emotions are not weaknesses. Healing is not wasting time. Starting again is not starting over. You are allowed to fall. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to rebuild. Just don't quit on yourself.
4. Becoming a person who inspires others through transformation. The highest form of self-investment is this: when your growth becomes someone else's hope. You may not realize it, but your transformation has power. Your discipline can inspire someone to start. Your healing can give someone courage to face their pain. Your consistency can show someone that change is real. Your strength can remind someone that they are capable too. A. Lead without preaching. Lead by living. You don't need to tell people what to do. You simply need to become the example. When you control your emotions, stay committed, chase excellence, protect your peace, keep growing, people around you notice. They feel it. They are affected by it. They are changed by it. B. Your story becomes a light for someone in darkness. Every challenge you've gone through can help someone else survive theirs. Your pain becomes wisdom. Your learning becomes guidance. Your transformation becomes evidence. You become the proof that it's possible to improve. It's possible to heal. It's possible to start again. It's possible to build the life you want. C. When you invest in yourself, you uplift everyone around you. Self-investment is not selfish. It is generous. Because when you grow, you love better. You lead better.
You communicate better. You create better. You inspire better. Your life becomes a gift. Final message. You are the project of a lifetime. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not lost. You are unfolding. Every step you take towards self-investment, every book, every workout, every act of discipline, every moment of reflection, every choice to improve, brings you closer to the life you deserve. Your potential is not fixed. Your story is not finished. Your transformation is not limited. You are the project of a lifetime, and this lifetime is yours to build.
If this video inspired you or helped you learn something new, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Motivation to Study English for 30 minutes every day. Your support is the energy that keeps us creating better and more meaningful videos every single day.